On NewsHour tonight, one killed, others injured, an explosion at Kaduna defense facility. Katsina bandit leader releases 40 hostages, warns truce at risk. Zamfara commuters demand repair of collapsed bridge after deadly bus accident. In foreign thing, Hamas shares farewell image of 48 hostages as Israel flattens Gaza City. Good evening, welcome to NewsHour on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. We'll start off in Kaduna State, where fear gripped residents of Kakuri and surrounding areas in the state on Saturday morning following a heavy explosion at the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DCON. The blast reportedly left one person dead and several others injured. Residents told Trust TV that the sound of the explosion shook buildings across Kakuri, Makera and Krumingwari, causing panic and forcing many to flee their homes in fear. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who visited the scene, reports that the community is still reeling from the shock. His report.
A resident who spoke on condition of anonymity said the explosion occurred around 10 a.m. during the execution of a routine operation within the Daikon facility. According to him, the blast claimed one life and injured several people who are now receiving medical attention. The situation created panic among residents in the area.
I feel we're wrong, ma. See how it happen now. Able to come wrong. Able to go fear. Later now go here say na bomb. DIC.
I was on the farm when I heard the sound. I had to leave the farm out of fear.
I
was in the room when I heard the sound of the explosion. I was so terrified because we didn't know the direction it was coming from. Later, we were told it was from DCON.
I want to karan ya fito daga DIC ne.
Gaskiya unguwan ta tashi da dimuwa da damuwa.
We were in shock and devastated when we heard the sound. We were later informed that it came from DICON and that it killed one person and injured many others. Maria Sambo, the public relations officer of DICON, confirmed the incident, stating that the explosion occurred during the destruction of expired materials at the DICON Ordnance Factory disposal pit. She added that the injured DICON personnel are currently receiving treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna, while the body of the deceased has been deposited at the hospital mortuary, while a board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the immediate cause of the explosion. As of the time of filing this report, military personnel had cordoned off areas surrounding the Kaduna South Industrial Zone where the incident occurred. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The military high command has ordered immediate investigations into the explosion that rocked the headquarters of the Defense Industrial Corporation of Nigeria, DCON of Kaduna, in the early hours on Saturday. It also confirmed the death of at least one person during the incident, explaining that the explosion occurred when the specialists were concluding the destruction of remaining quantities of expired materials. Reacting to the development via a statement, the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukru Gusso, listed the remaining quantities of expired materials as ammonia nitrates, primer carbs, propellant and other hazardous substances. Gusso disclosed that the injured personnel are currently receiving medical treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna. He further said the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has extended condolences to the families and friends of the deceased and wishes a swift recovery for those injured. Talks between authorities and armed groups in the northwest have taken another turn, with a notorious bandit leader releasing dozens of captives in Katsina state. But the truce appears fragile, as the kingpin is warning of renewed violence if alleged attacks on his community continue. Here's more in this report.
The release of 40 kidnapped victims in Faskari local government marks the latest gesture tied to peace negotiations with Isia Kwashangarwa's fighters. Local officials say it follows similar concessions earlier in the week, bringing the total number of freed hostages to more than 70.
Ranar Laraba an ba su kimanin mutum 30 can 27.
We have seen that these people were released because of the promises we made during the peace pact in Faskari local government area of Katsina state. Altogether, they numbered 72. We were neither threatened nor overpowered before we released them. We released them because of the promises we made.
Alƙawalin nan da aka ɗauka shi ya sanya aka bada su.
But the bandit leader is also accusing security operatives of carrying out a deadly raid in Rwangodia, which he claims killed his men and civilians alike.
To kuma ina bakin kokari na an so shi, na an so su mutanen wanda aka kakkama, sai kuma ga report an bamu daga Rwangodia.
When I was going around to secure their release, I received a report that security operatives went to meet our people and shot them. They killed men, women, and children, and they also took our property, including motorcycles. Garwa warned that such attacks could derail the fragile truce, saying his fighters may return to violence if the killings are not addressed. The development comes as community leaders and state officials continue to pursue dialogue with armed groups in parts of the Northwest, even as kidnappings and rural violence persists. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, to give us further information is Abdullahi Yamadi joining us from Katsina State via phone call. Good evening, Yamadi. Thank you for joining us on News Hour tonight.
Thank you, Chiamaka. Thank you for having me.
All right, Yamadi. So the bandit leader from that video is saying about the military coming to attack his people. Has there been any information to agree or confirm this from the government side?
Well, I called one of the media aides to Governor Rada, who promised to call me back after investigation, but up to this moment, he did not call back. But reliably from from our sources in the community, that is Rwangodia, they confirmed the attack, alleging that military personnel from Mabai village in Kankara local government attacked their community on Friday, killing 3 people, including 1 young girl, and 1 person sustained gunshot wound who is now receiving medical attention at a hospital in Puntua. They alleged that the suspected military personnel who came with armored personnel carrier APC looted their shops, where they carted away properties
Follows similar
of thousands of naira, and then they went away with 9 motorcycles. The residents are pained seriously, saying that they are feeling the pain because those that are alleged to have carried out the attack are military personnel who are being paid with taxpayers' money to protect lives and property. So that is the situation from Rwangodia community in Faskari local government.
Okay. Let's go back to the people that were released, the victims. Have you been able to speak to any of them so far? Can you tell us what's happened to them so far?
Well, like that one on the screen, who is now receiving medical attention at Funtua. I spoke with him this evening where he said the Katsina State government is taking care of his medical bills, and some of those that were wounded currently receiving medical attention at hospitals that are not yet known. But he confirmed that the military personnel attacked the village in a broad daylight, where they shoot and killed some of them, and some of them sustained gunshot wounds. At the moment, they are receiving medical attention.
Okay, Yemadi?
Yes?
I'm speaking about the released victims that from the bandit leader. Have you been able to speak to any of them?
Well, I spoke with two women who said they had been reunited with their families.
Okay.
And they were not asked to pay any ransom. They were voluntarily released without any pressure from any security personnel or security officials. And then the bandit kingpin, that Garwa, like you rightly heard, he said they were released voluntarily without any pressure from any quota. And they also confirmed that the bandit kingpin asked some of his foot soldiers to escort them to the main road where they were received by their family members.
Okay, so they've not been maybe taken to the hospital to take a look at them to see that everything is fine by them, by government agencies?
Well, you know, it all happened on Friday.
Okay.
Precisely yesterday, they were received by Fakare local government officials. They were taken to hospital. After the checks, medical checks, they were released, and of course they were discharged. They were discharged and reunited with their families.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Abdullah Yamidi, for your update on the situation in Katsina State.
Thank you most sincerely, Chiamaka.
Still in security matters, the Nigerian Air Force NAF has killed more than 25 terrorists in a coordinated night air operation at Bula in Yobe State and Banki Axis of Borno State. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, NAF, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, on Saturday in Abuja. Ejodame said the operations were conducted on September 18 following intelligence from ground troops. He further said a force package of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, ISR assets and strike aircraft tracked terrorist movements and identified multiple groups north of Banki. Ejodame said real-time updates were relayed to ground forces and base operations, enabling synchronized action, adding that the strike aircraft engaged the terrorists in 3 successive precision strikes on their movement routes and assembly areas, effectively neutralizing more than 25 fighters. Troops of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3 Operation Royal Stroke have arrested a notorious suspected terrorist following credible and actionable intelligence in Wukari local government area of Taraba State. Acting swiftly on an intelligence report, the vigilant troops tracked and intercepted the suspect at Takum Junction, Wukari local government area, where the 35-year-old was apprehended. A statement by the Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Umaru Muhammad, said preliminary investigation revealed that the suspect hails from a community in Ukum local government area of Benue State and is allegedly a high-profile member of the notorious bandits gang led by the wanted criminal Akiki Utuvi, popularly known as Full Fire. Findings further indicated that the suspect infiltrated Wukari to monitor troop activities with the intent of facilitating coordinated attacks on innocent citizens. The arrest marks a major setback for the criminal gang and underscores the resolve of troops under Operation Lafia Nakoa to deny terrorists, bandits and other criminal elements freedom of action in Taraba State and beyond. Fresh flooding has submerged farmlands and parts of Taraba State, destroying crops and worsening the plight of farmers who are still recovering from an earlier disaster. This latest flood comes just 2 weeks after a similar incident wiped out more than 2,500 farms across 6 local government areas in the state. The new wave of flooding has now destroyed additional rice and maize farms, deepening concerns about food insecurity and economic loss. Trust TV gathered that several farms previously spared during the first flood have now been submerged. Areas affected include Mayorenio, Bineri, Quantananido, amongst others. Additional damage was equally reported in Dindango, Guruwa, and other areas as well. It was learned that the River Benue overflowed its banks again, flooding hundreds of hectares of farmland on both sides of the river. Residents of Fast Village are appealing to the Zamfara state government to reconstruct the collapsed Gwali Bridge to ease movement in the areas and prevent a reoccurrence of last Saturday's incident that claimed 19 lives. They made the appeal when the State Deputy Governor, Mani Mumuni, paid a condolence visit to the families of the 19 persons who died in an accident in which a Hummer bus plunged into the Gwali River. Here's more in this report.
This is Gwali Bridge that links Fast Village and other villages around the areas of Gummi town as well as other parts of Zamfara state. It also links people of Zamfara state to Jega local government area of Kebbi state in northwest Nigeria. According to the locals, the bridge collapsed over 6 years ago and has been claiming innocent lives. But last Saturday's incident, where a bus conveying wedding guests plunged in the river and claimed the lives of 19 persons, was quite disturbing and prompted a call by residents to government to reconstruct the collapsed Gwali Bridge.
The bus arrived and got trapped on the collapsed bridge. The driver then asked some of the passengers to come down in order to reduce the vehicle's weight. About 20 people disembarked from the ill-fated bus. As the driver attempted to maneuver the vehicle, it suddenly lifted and lost balance, plunging into the river along with the remaining passengers. We brought a boat and used ropes to help pull the bus out of the water. We have recovered 17 bodies so far, but 2 are still missing. We are appealing to the state government to urgently repair the bridge to prevent further accidents and loss of life.
The Emir of Gummi, retired Justice Lawal Hassan, appealed to the Zamfara state government to collaborate with the National Inland Waterways to get modern boats to forestall recurring of boat mishap.
I'd like to plead with His Excellency to please, on behalf of all riverine areas in Zamfara state, to plead with the National Inland Waterways Authority to give us modern boats, modern canoes. The wooden canoes that we use year in, year out are outdated and outmoded. We plead with His Excellency to please extend our request to the management of the National Inland Waterways.
Zamfara State Deputy Governor Mani Mumuni, who is chairing the State Assessment and Support for Victims of Banditry and Natural Disaster Committee, led his committee members to the Gummi local government area of the state to console families of the 19 wedding guests who died during the incident. Mumuni informed that the Governor Dawood Lawal's administration promised to reconstruct it when the rainy season is over, as a team of engineers had already gone to inspect it. The committee also paid a similar condolence visit to the families of victims of a boat mishap at Birni Magaji village, where about 21 people lost their lives.
We are here in Gumi to concur with people of Gumi on the recent incident that happened last week, which led to the death of almost 19 people in the riverside. We are here to tell people that the people of Gumi that the state government is touched. The state government we are touched with the incident.
Deputy Governor announced a donation of 500,000 each to families of the 21 victims of the boat mishap at Birni Magaji village, and also informed the people that the state government will deploy additional troops to protect them against the armed bandits.
The African Democratic Congress ADC in Gombe State has accused Governor Inuwa Yahaya of implementing policies that they declare as anti-people and insensitive to the needs of ordinary citizens. At the same time, the party expressed willingness to welcome the governor into its fold, even as it criticized the ruling All Progressives Congress APC for what it called growing intolerance toward opposition parties across the country. Trust TV's Hassan Kohli reports.
Leaders of the African Democratic Congress ADC have come out strongly against the administration of Governor Inuwa Yahaya, alleging that his government has failed to address the daily struggles of citizens in the state. They describe several policies as harsh, with the nighttime restriction on commercial motorcycle operations cited as one of the most punitive for the masses.
Akwai rashin tsaro ba za a yi bugun kaɗanya a ce an hana a shaba ba gari.
The policies of the present government in Gombe are clearly anti-people. Commercial motorcycle riders should not be punished in the name of insecurity. It's better for them to go out and earn a living than to stay home and die of hunger. The motorcycle restrictions are unjust and must be reversed. The ADC also accused the ruling All Progressive Congress APC of shrinking democratic space and intimidating opposition voices across Nigeria. According to the party, the APC, which once thrived as an opposition party, is now stifling political diversity and fair competition.
So Nigerians are already tired, and Nigerians have spoken. You know, APC is doing everything possible to make sure that there is no opposition party in Nigeria. Unfortunately, it's not going to be possible because democracy is about multi-party, politics. One party cannot continue to rule people. PDP was in power. APC won election over PDP. And of course, they abdicated that and they gave power over to APC. And so APC has no right to deny other political parties from coming on board. And we're very happy that we have the African Democratic Congress and Nigerians have responded and they're going to continue to respond. We're going to mobilize every nook and cranny of Nigeria.
While strongly criticizing the party, the ADC also extended an olive branch to Governor Inuwa Yahaya, saying the party will be glad to welcome him if he decided to join. As political activities begin to build ahead of the next election cycle, the ADC says it remains committed to challenging what it calls anti-people governance and political intolerance. It also called on the people of Gombe to embrace change and support alternative leadership. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Catholic bishops in Nigeria have raised the alarm over what they described as the suppression of opposition voices, warning that Nigeria is gradually sliding into a one-party state. The bishops expressed this concern in a communique issued at the end of the plenary meeting of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria held in Akwa Ibom State. The communique was signed by the Archbishop of Owerri and President CBCN Lucius Ugroji and Bishop of Uromi and Secretary CBCN Donatus Ogun. The bishops cautioned politicians against pushing the nation towards a one-party state, which they argued is unhealthy for democracy. The bishops expressed dismay at the growing preoccupation of politicians with securing and retaining power ahead of the 2027 general elections, rather than delivering good governance. The bishops will further criticize political defections, alignments and realignments, noted that this obsession with political dominance had fueled corruption, inefficiency, and the neglect of citizens' welfare. You're still on 2 News Hour on Trust TV. When we return from the break, we'll take a look at waste pickers sharing struggles and prospects in Nigeria's recycling economy. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that one person killed, others injured in an explosion at Kaduna Defense Facility. We also told you that Katsina bandit leader has released 40 hostages, warns truce may be at risk. Two more stories. Despite rising insecurity in southern Katsina, the ever-bustling Yalaraba women market continues to bloom, boosting the local economy of the Malamfashi town, the headquarters of Malamfashi local government area. The market, which brings together traders from within and outside Katsina State every Wednesday, is a source of pride and revenue generation to residents and local authorities. Trust TV's Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
Laraba Women Market is occupying small space but serves as an efficient rendezvous for both local and visitors. The market differs from other conventional business hubs in northern Nigeria as it brings together traders, mostly women, who deals in traditional materials from Katsina and neighboring states, craft materials, animal feeds, herbs, agricultural produce, women and men wares, food ingredients such as locust bean, finished products such as daddawa and baobab leaf powder used in preparing mere kuka and potash are all available here. It is also a hub for calabashes, ginger, both fresh and dried pepper, fresh and dried okra, among many other items which are common sight at Laraba market. Prices here are lower compared to other markets, largely due to competing demands and supply. This vibrant market brings together items directly from the source. Many people come from cities to buy our items here. Our items are very cheap compared to other markets. Now, our major problem is insecurity. The moment it's 3 p.m., traders will be leaving the market, unlike before, when the market closes at night. Traders come here to buy things and go back to their local communities and resell, make profit, while others do come here without money. We give them goods, they sell and make a lot of profits and pay us back. We trust one another. Women traders are saying they patronize Laraba market because of its considerable prices and economic viability.
I came here to buy some women wares. I like this market because it gives me what I always want, that is happiness. To me, there is no marketplace like Laraba. It gives traders, especially women, some kind of joy.
Mariam, who is an internally displaced person, said the market has dramatically changed her life from a refugee to a full-time businesswoman.
I don't think I can talk because of my condition. I am an internally displaced person. I resorted to business out of necessity. My husband and parents have been killed by bandits. I now squat with my sister in another community. This business is everything to me, and I love this market. It gives me joy.
Despite being a source of revenue generation, Laraba market lacks water and sanitation facilities as well as public conveniences. The traders are appealing for government's intervention to avert what they called contracting diseases that are caused as a result of poor sanitation. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Across Nigeria's major cities like Abuja, Lagos and beyond, scavengers are found everywhere. They mostly move from residential streets to commercial areas and dumping grounds. These scavengers are simply called waste pickers as they collect metals, plastic bottles, cartons, paper, electronic scraps and damaged appliances, among many other things. Victoria Tokolo's report is presented from our studio.
Known by names like Iron Condemn and more, this group of people roam the city of Lagos collecting plastic, iron and even electric waste that have been discarded. They end up selling these items to people and recycling companies. They also help reduce the number of waste on streets and dump sites.
Scavenging is a source of livelihood for many people. However, concerns have been raised about the activities of scavengers across Lagos State.
Name one business na sikraba de pai. Kwandam something, kwandam freezer, kwandam gen, kwandam everything at the buy. Na kwandam at the buy. Mattress, everything at the buy. Get difference. In a big market, I go buy big money. In a small, they buy small money. Get different and a different now.
You know, so we are the two types of the people that are doing this market. The one that's using shampoo, they are shaking it, is the one that buy iron, aluminium, condemn battery, condemn stabilizer, labrador, condemn freezer. So and we say, if person have money where you take ordinary sack without that shampoo, if you don't call him, you can still buy it.
I get person when you know they buy something, you go carry back, you go check the something for son. So me at the fine market, but I want to buy am. If that person where they find no get money, me where you work out for the money for your pocket, you go challenge me now.
Even paper, white paper, and nylon with copper with the buyer. But the thing one we they do, if we see small thing can carry market one seller for us, we no go buy her. So you tell and say make go front. Because sometimes some people, some boys, then they picking something when you know no being better. Come sell them for people when they buy like that.
Scrap dealers said some bad elements may be involved in illegal activities. Majority of them are doing their business legally.
It will not be bad business, but some Aboki and Igbo don't say our work is a criminal business, maybe criminal business. The problem why they say criminal business, some Aboki, the problem is language. For them, if you go outside, anything is said outside that is condemned.
We are buying this scrap small. We are buying 1 kilo, 5 kilo. Some at times we are buying 200 kilo, 300 kilo. So we used to help government to, because all this is like a waste. You understand? So it's a waste. When those our boys then they go for water, go and pick the scrap.
These individuals are said to be playing vital roles in the economy by providing recycling companies with waste to recycle, thereby reducing refuge dumps in the process.
The Lagos State Police Command has announced the arrest of a key suspect in a string of exotic car vandalism incidents that have plagued the city's highbrow neighborhoods. The suspect, identified as Jude Onoha, is said to be the kingpin of the vandalism ring in the state. The 46-year-old suspect was apprehended by operatives of the Lagos State Police Command following a tip-off from a reliable source. According to the police, the suspect had been disguising himself as a security guard to gain access to properties where the exotic cars were parked. Once inside, he would vandalize the vehicles, making off with valuable parts and accessories. Deputy spokesman for the command, DSP Babasheyi Olusheyi, in a statement on Saturday, described Jude as the leader of a vicious and notorious criminal syndicate that specializes in disguising as security operatives in fake security outfit uniforms and using a Mercedes car jack modified to look like firearms to gain access into estates within Lagos metropolis. Still in the southwest, the Oyo state government has announced the deployment of over 2,000 security operatives to ensure a peaceful and well-coordinated coronation ceremony for Oba Rashidi Ladoja will be officially crowned as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land on Friday, September 26, 2025 at the ancient Mapo Hall, Ibadan. The chairman of the Planning and Organizing Committee, Bayo Oyero, disclosed this during a press briefing held on Saturday at the Olubadan Palace in Ibadan. He stated that personnel from the Nigerian Police, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Department of State Services, DSS, Amoteku Corps, and Oyo State Road Transport Management Authority will be on duty across key areas of the city. Oyero described the ascension of Olubadan as a journey of many years, guided by the wisdom of the Ibadan ancestors, noting that the former governor's background uniquely positioned him to lead Ibadan land into a new era of progress, peace, and prosperity.
Ibadan's succession process is a testament to its democratic and orderly tradition, a system that has ensured peace and stability for generations. It is with this same sense of tradition and reverence that we have prepared for this occasion. The accession of Olubadan is a journey of many years, a path meticulously followed and guided by the wisdom of our ancestors. His Imperial Majesty is a man of remarkable depth and experience. He is a former senator, a former governor of Oyo State, a seasoned engineer, and a highly successful business magnate. The diverse background has equipped him with a unique understanding of our people, from the grassroots to the corridors of power.
The Development Research and Project Center, through its Nigerian Strengthening Civic Advocacy and Local Engagement Project, has partnered with the Rising Hope Girls Education Foundation to establish a digital laboratory at Junior Secondary School based in Kubwa, Abuja. The facility will give underserved students access to technology, creativity, and digital safety skills. Habibat Ajayi reports.
Through DRPC's support initiative, 5 million naira was provided for short-term projects to be completed within 3 months, funded by Ford Foundation. As part of the scheme, which aims to strengthen civil society organizations, 20 female students also received scholarships covering junior secondary school 1 to 3.
The essence is to bridge the gap of funding. When the foreign funding are drying up, it's the responsibility of local Nigerian NGOs, philanthropists, and other citizens to support communities, vulnerable communities that are doing great work.
Project Director of the Rising Hope Girls Education Foundation, David Hano, says the initiative targets long-standing barriers to digital learning, such as limited access to tools, under-resourced teachers, and the need for artificial intelligence literacy.
It's a timeless scholarship. We have given 100 girls across the regions, Kubwa, Biaji, Jiwa. We scattered it across. Those who are indigent and who are intelligent and have problems, it's part of the safe school. Because if they don't have this, it gives them tension. So that is what we do.
The Deputy Director of the Curriculum at the FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Unsurabo, emphasized the role of public-private partnerships in improving education delivery.
There is a slogan in UBEC that education for all is the responsibility of everybody. That following the address by the director of DRPC, seeing the need for collaboration and assisting, especially in the education sector where there is need.
Chairman of the Parent Teacher Association, Oluwagbemi Adedeji Isaac, welcomed the positive impact of the new digital lab.
The problem we have in our society is the problem of this head. When head is not correct, the environment will not be right. But when the head is correct, everything will go well. And the only place for this head to be correct is to come to an environment like this. When you come, you start getting to know what is right and what is wrong.
Some scholarships beneficiaries also expressed gratitude for the support.
I'm very happy because the scholarship has really helped my parents and removed some load out of their head and the things that they are going to pay. I'm very happy, and I want to also thank the people that provide it.
Thank you that you give me this type of scholarship, and it's going to help my mother, and my mother is going to be very grateful. Thank you, everyone.
I am one of the beneficiaries in giving the scholarship. Thanks. God bless them and provide more for them.
The DRPC NSI project shows that combining digital empowerment with safe school advocacy can transform not just schools, but entire communities. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Over in Kaduna State, the people-oriented Governor Basani has flagged off the construction of 16.5-kilometer Olubadan Alaji Road in Lere local government area of Kaduna State. The governor said the road project, if completed, would boost agricultural and economic activities in the area. The report.
Governor Basani, on arriving in Lere local government for the flag-off of Kayarda Dang Alhaji 16.5-kilometer road, was received by the mammoth crowd. Addressing the people of the area, Governor Basani said the road project is part of his administration's commitment to improve the lives of the people across the state.
After the commissioning of the fully renovated General Hostel Saminaka Ilera local government, I am very happy to be here once again. But this time to perform the groundbreaking for the construction of Kayarda, Tesha to Maskawa and Alaji Road. This significant infrastructure project will enhance intra-rural mobility and connectivity in Lere local government and beyond.
Other notable sons and daughters of Lere local government applauded the governor for bringing such a project that would accelerate development in the areas.
Governor Basani is part and parcel of Lere local government area. Come 2027 election, I can assure you that we won't let him down. We will give him the highest vote because we are proud of him.
Your Excellency, we thank you very much for the good work you are doing in Lere local government. We pray God help and strengthen you and also protect you against your enemy.
The road is 16 kilometers. We thank you for the good work.
The event also received the royal blessing from the Emir of Lere, thanking Governor Obasani for beginning such gigantic project to the area.
We are grateful for the construction of road in Rima Bridge. Today Bridge is also under construction. We thank the governor and we wish him safe trip back to Kaduna.
The occasion has demonstrated the commitment of the Obasani-led administration to delivering the dividends of democracy to the good people of Kaduna State.
The rising cases of cataract in Adamawa State have become a serious concern, particularly for underprivileged residents who cannot afford medical treatment. But hope has arrived through a free medical outreach program that has restored sight, distributed reading glasses, and provided essential medications to more than 3,000 beneficiaries. Trust TV's Gibson Swadigo reports from Yola.
In Yola, many residents are now seeing the world more clearly as sight has been restored, health renewed, and hope rekindled. Over close to 2,000 people benefited from a free medical outreach organized by the Mainstream Foundation in collaboration with the Yola Electricity Distribution Company. The outreach targeted at the less privileged, focused primarily on cataract surgeries, distribution of reading glasses, and the provision of essential drugs. But beyond the treatments, the mission was about restoring dignity, giving people a chance to live healthier and more fulfilling lives.
We will do an assessment, and going forward we will know why Yola is having these cases, and then with that and then more sensitization, or maybe is it water, or there is a hazardous environment they live in, or things that causes these things. But we are here in Yola, like I said, for the first time, and it is not going to be the last time.
It was a joyous moment for elderly patients who regained their sight, as well as children who can now read without strength. For many, this was more than just medical assistance. It was truly the gift of a brighter tomorrow.
Sincerely speaking, I'm overwhelmed when I heard
that information, and I came, and sincerely speaking, I was received and treated well as a very nice child of God.
This initiative is a reflection of the strong social responsibility commitment of both the Mainstream Foundation and the YEDC, bringing light not only to homes but also to lives. Gibson Suadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
All right, return from the break. Business, foreign and sports. Please just stay with us. Welcome back. Let's get to business. Nigeria's crude oil production grew by 5.5% year-on-year in August 2025, averaging 1.43 million barrels per day, compared to 1.36 million barrels per day in the same period last year, according to data released by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. The latest figures published by the Commission on Saturday via its official X account showed that Nigeria achieved 96% of its Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC production quota of 1.5 million barrels per day. This performance, the Commission stated, reflects improved output levels across key oil terminals and signals a stronger recovery in the upstream sector. Overall, combined crude oil and condensate production averaged 1.63 million barrels per day in August, slightly higher than 1.58 million barrels per day in the same month of 2024. Month-on-month, however, output dropped by 4.7% from 1.71 million barrels per day in July, a decline attributed mainly to an unscheduled one-day maintenance shutdown at a key oil production facility. The World Bank Group, through its private sector arm, the International Finance Corporation, has completed its first securitization transaction, marking a milestone in the global effort to channel private institutional capital into emerging markets. In a statement sent to on Saturday, the lender disclosed that the $510 million collateralized loan obligation represents the first tangible step in IFC's broader strategy to establish an originate-to-distribute model for investments in developing economies. The transaction involves repackaging IFC's loan portfolio into rated securities, thereby creating a new asset class that meets the risk and return requirements of global institutional investors, including pension funds, insurance companies, and asset managers. According to IFC, this approach is expected to unlock access to the world's largest pools of capital, while freeing up its balance sheet to finance additional projects across developing countries. World Bank Group President R.J. Banga said the initiative underscores the institution's ambition to mobilize private investments at scale, describing it as crucial for long-term economic transformation. On a foreign scene, the armed wing of Hamas has released what it calls a farewell picture of 48 Israeli captives held in Gaza as the Israeli army continues to destroy and seize the besieged enclave's largest urban center. Qasam Brigades posted a compilation photo online on Saturday showing the faces of all living and deceased captives, with each of them captioned Ron Arad, in reference to the Israeli Air Force captain who went missing in Lebanon in 1986. The image released by Hamas was accompanied by a text stating, because of Netanyahu's refusal and Zamir's capitulation, a farewell picture as the military operation in Gaza City begins. That was a reference to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's repeated rejection of any agreement with Hamas to put an end to the genocidal war in Gaza and the expanding ground and air attacks led by Israeli Army Chief Eyal Zamir, despite his public objections to the government's conquest plans for Gaza City. Israeli authorities have said they believe about 20 captives are still being held alive in Gaza, whereas United States President Donald Trump has suggested fewer than 20 could be alive. Trump and Netanyahu have repeatedly said they will bring back all living and dead captives and also destroy Hamas. Guinea-Bissau's opposition leader on Friday returned from exile to submit his candidacy for the country's presidential election later this year. Domingos Simios Pereira, a former prime minister and leader of the Pajic party that led the former Portuguese colony to independence, has spent 9 months out of the country because of a perceived threat to his life and legal issues. He arrived in the capital on Friday night with a significant security presence deployed around the airport. Some supporters braved heavy rain to welcome him, but he left without commenting to waiting reporters. Last Sunday, he told supporters in Portugal that he was returning to lead a democratic fight. He announced on social media that he intends to run for the presidency on November 23rd and wanted to meet the September 26th deadline to submit his application. For sports news, let's join Adini Ajishafe.
The Lagos State University women's football team, the Lasso Queens, has been disqualified from 2025 Federation International du Sport Universitaire FISU University World Cup football in Dalian, China. The Lasso Queens, meant to represent Africa at the prestigious tournament, were denied accreditation after failing to meet the minimum squad requirements set by the organizers. FISU regulation states that participating teams are expected to register 16 players and 5 officials. However, the Nigerian champions arrived in China with only 13 players, falling short of the required numbers. As a result, they were disqualified before the competition commenced. The African champions were drawn in Group A alongside Shanghai University of Sport, China, University of the Extreme South of Santa Catarina, Brazil, and University of Valencia, Spain. Group B features Beijing Normal University, China, University of Sydney, Australia, Polytechnic University of Haute-de-France, and Laval Rouge of Canada. Lasso Queens has secured qualification after defeating University of Lagos in the final of the 2024 All-African University Games hosted at the Lasso Sports Center. The disqualification brings an abrupt end to their dream of flying Africa's flag on the global stage without playing a single match. Meanwhile, the competition continues with the top 2 teams from each group advancing to the semi-final, with the final scheduled to take place on September 28, 2025. And still in football, the battle for promotion to the NWFL Premiership reached its climax in Abriba, Abia State, with Imo Strikers Queens clinching the final ticket after a commanding 2-0 victory over Ghetto Tigers FC. Anoke James opened scoring in the 37th minute before Chiamaka Damian's 77th minute strike sealed the win and confirmed Imo's place in the top flight. The coach and captain of Imo Striker Queens expressed happiness for qualifying for Nigerian Women Football League against all odds.
Wow, this is one of the greatest moments of my time as a coach. After struggling for 3 consecutive times and finally made it at this 3rd time, I return all praises to God.
I feel good. I'm happy that we won our match. I think it's all to the glory of God because we didn't play our game, but God just gave us the victory.
Sunshine Queens, Ahudianem Queens, Casmog Ladies, and Imo Striker Queens will fight for honors in next season's NWFL Premiership, setting the stage for an exciting campaign in Nigerian Store Women's League. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that wraps up News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news programs, documentaries, do follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. On behalf of the news production team, thanks for joining us tonight. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Good night.